season. Robbie Martin is deep for the Indianapolis Colts. Hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are. Anderson's kick, a boomer. And it'll be downed and come out to the 20-yard line. The sun breaking through now on a very warm afternoon. The National Football League 66th season getting set to unfold. Art Schlichter to be at quarterback. Middleton, McMillan. The wide receivers, Booza and Henry. The tight end is Pat Beach. Donaldson, a very fine center with Utt and Solt, Hinton and Baldischweiler. First down, Colts from their own 20-yard line. Single setback, McMillan. The extra tight end is 84, Boyer. In motion, 88, Henry. And the give to the single setback. Randy McMillan, who played, of course, here at Pittsburgh. Stopped by Brian Hinkle, the right outside linebacker, number 53. The Steelers on defense line up this way. Willis and Dunn and Nelson. The linebackers this afternoon, Merriweather, Little, Cold, and Hinkle. Lambert's name is not there. And, of course, Woodruff, Clayton, Shell, and Williams, a very good secondary. Pickup of about 4 on the play, second down and 6. That's Henry coming in motion to the near sideline, and Schlichter's going to go upstairs. Little screen pass out to McMillan. McMillan out to the 30-yard line and a first down as he got to the 31-yard line.
It looks like they're going to do everything they can to help out Schlichter and spray the ball all over the place. Schlichter's dropping straight back now. First part of the screen, now drop back, lay the ball off to 32 McMillan. The screen is like Novocaine. It takes time to take to effect. And now he comes inside and falls for the first down.
Ball just over the 31-yard line, the opening moments of play. Frank Middleton, 43, now in the Indianapolis backfield with McMillan, number 23. That's Middleton going in motion. McMillan over the 35, out to the 40-yard line, working the right side of that line in fine fashion. Coming up to make the tackle was Dwayne Woodruff, number 49, had some help from Rick Woods, number 22. McMillan, an outstanding performer. 2 years, of course, here at the University of Pittsburgh when he was the top rusher for the Panthers.
Well, it certainly looks like they're going to call his number today. He's touched the ball almost on every play.
Second down and 2. In preseason, the Colts were 2-2. The Steelers 1-3. And in trouble, McMillan. Coming across to make the play, Brian Hinkle. He's the right outside linebacker, number 53. When you talk about Hinkle, Sam, you talk about a really talented athlete.
Well, he has outstanding speed. He's going to make the play from the inside. There he comes right from the inside to make the play. Hinkle and Merriweather might be the 2 fastest outside linebackers in the National Football League.
Loss of a yard, third down and 3. Take a look at it from another angle.
He's looking for the open spot. There's 33 and Hinkle, 53, makes the play in the middle of your screen.
Rick Woods and Sam Washington into the secondary for the Steelers. George Wansley, the single setback now for Indianapolis. This is Wansley, and he's not going to get it. The man who really helped make that play was number 92, Keith Gary, who stalled the runner for a moment, and then it was Harvey Clayton, 33, that finished him off.
I was surprised by the call. It looks like Dowhower is going to play it safe. I thought maybe they would throw the ball upfield because against the nickel defense.
Ron Stark will do the punting, number 3 out of Florida State. 44.7 average last year, 4-year man. Back downfield, Rick Woods. He had a 13-point average on punt returns last season. Stark got it away. Comes to the near sideline and a very short wobbly kick out of bounds. It's going to be marked at about the 42-yard line. So the Steelers are going to have a very excellent place to begin offensively for the first time this afternoon. No score in Pittsburgh. touchdown pass to Walt Arnold. Kansas City opening over New Orleans. San Francisco, Roger Craig touchdown, 10 yards, leading Minnesota. Just a moment ago, a poor 20-yard punt, and the Steelers set up shop at their own 42-yard line. Mark Malone at quarterback, number 16, out of Arizona State. Hand off to Frank Pollard, the big guy from Baylor. Man who runs with reckless abandon. And he gets a couple before Dwayne Bickett, the young rookie, number 50, comes in from the right outside linebacker slot.
This is the first time he's touched the ball. Pollard is going to be instrumental in this offense. He could have gained 1,000 yards last year.
Coming back, of course, from the broken hand injury. On 2nd down and 6, the call goes to Abercrombie. He's to the 49-yard line. Abercrombie stopped again by the outside linebacker Bickett. The Giants 7-0. Phil Simms to Lionel Manuel, 23-yard touchdown play. No score here as we have 10:21 to play in the first quarter, and the Steelers are facing 3rd down and 3. A rookie, Steve Morse, number 47, out of Virginia, comes in for the Steelers now. Ouija Thompson, 87, is in there. They set a slot man to the right side. 3rd down and 3, and Malone to throw. And it is complete. The pass goes to Lewis Lips at the 25, the 20, down to the 19, make it the 18-yard line. We talked about Lips at the top of the show. 32-yard pickup on the play.
He put on as many yardage as Malone did throwing the ball. He's lined up outside Stallworth. He's going to move to the inside now. You see the double coverage on Stallworth. 83 in the middle of your screen. It's wide open, breaks a tackle, and adds about 15 yards onto the play.
Preston Davis, number 27, making the stop. 1st down for the Steelers. You look again there at this play as Lips cut across the middle. Now we're back live with you at the 19-yard line. Fumble, and Malone gets on top of it.
It looked like Malone pulled out a little too fast there between Malone and the center, 52, Mike Webster. There they are talking about it right now. Let's watch Malone as he takes this snap. He's stepping to his right, and he mishandles the ball. The snap is fine. He has good presence of mind to fall on the ball.
I wonder, we talked about the heat at the top of the show. It was about 95. It's up over the 100 mark now. A little slippery, maybe.
That could be a problem, Jay.
2nd down and 12. Coming in motion, Ehrenberg, who's in the backfield now, number 24.
82.
Schlichter going,
82.
And the pass is not there. Stallworth had a step on Eugene Daniel, but Malone couldn't deliver it. Seattle breaks on top of Cincinnati. Ron Walker, a pass from David Craig for a 28-yard touchdown. There's Rod Dowhauer, 43 years old, a native of Ord, Nebraska. An ingenious offensive mind who had to do a lot of drafting defensively to get things underway.
Well, he's going to have to put that genius to test right now with the Colts.
You used to be an assistant at New England. Tony Collins has scored for the Patriots. They lead Green Bay. 3rd down and 12 coming for the Steelers. Ouija Thompson is back in the lineup. Stallworth is in the slot right. Malone over the middle, got his man. Down to the 9-yard line, close to the 1st down goes Lewis Lips. And it's going to depend on where they spot this football. I think he's got the 1st down, but maybe not. Anderson, 36 on the tackle.
I don't think he has the 1st down.
No, not where
but
they
you can hear
spotted
from the crowd right now, they're asking Chuck Noll to make his first gut decision.
And it appears that he's going to go.
Anytime you're in a situation like this and you have less than a yard to go, I think it's a good call. You should be able to make it.
Inside the 10-yard line, here's a character builder early for both teams. The rookie Preston Goddard is in there with Nelson, double tight end alignment. Goddard goes in motion, and it goes to Pollard. 1st down. Pollard cracking over the middle. Pollard now in his 6th season, had 851 yards last year. Nesby Glasgow, the veteran at strong safety, made the tackle.
Give the ball to Pollard, you have to have some movement up on the line of scrimmage. Somebody missed a tackle in the backfield. He puts his head down. I think it was a good call. Certainly a lot easier up here.
Well, it certainly is a good call at this point. They have first down at the 5-yard line. We have 7:23 to play, first quarter. Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Steelers and the Colts. In motion, Morse, and the handoff to Pollard, and not much there. Penalty markers are down. First penalty of the game. Barry Krause, 55, with the tackle. Referee today is Red Cashin, the umpire Art Demas, headlinesman Dave Anderson. Offside is indicated against the Colts. Dan Wilford is the back judge. Ben Thompson, the side judge. Nate Jones, the field judge. Bob Wortman is also on the staff. As Dowhauer looks...
Offside. Number 62 on the defense. Still first down.
The call going against number 62, George Achika. Atlanta breaks on top of Detroit. Riggs scoring from 1 yard out. No score here, but the Steelers knocking on the door at the 3-yard line.
Don't be surprised if we get a play-action pass on first down. This is the time that you want to do it in the game.
First and goal from the 3. Again, the double tight end alignment with Nelson and Gothard in there. Rolling is Malone. He missed his man. He was trying to get it to the tight end Nelson. Their penalty markers down.
I think you have a penalty against Pittsburgh. There was just too much pressure on Malone on this play. Apparently someone came in that should have been blocked.
Nelson coming off number 81. He's a second-year man out of Memphis State. Terry Long, the infraction goes against him, number 74. I don't know if we... There it is right there.
Yeah, he's holding number 25, Nesby Glasgow, who put pressure on him. What they wanted to do here is bring Malone out and put pressure on the run or the pass, but he was never able to get to the outside.
Morse and Thompson coming back out of the lineup. Pollard and Ehrenberg are in there. Number 81, Nelson, quickly gets back onto the field. It is first and 12. A delay. Pollard packs it in near the 7-yard line.
That was a nice call on long yardage because now they got half of it.
Credit the tackle to 91, Byron Smith. The Giants, with a Joe Morris touchdown, now lead Philadelphia 14-0. Anderson, the young man from Durban, South Africa, the free agent, claimed from Buffalo. A talented kicker. He's waiting if needed. It is second down and goal to go at the 7.
You better not leave Stallworth the Lips alone. There's Lips.
And it is a touchdown! Coach Sam, you saw that one developing.
Well, you can't leave either one of those receivers alone down on the goal line. This was an outstanding throw, but it was the catch that made it. Lips is going to slip to the outside. Now get the ball outside. Get it outside. He turns his body 180 degrees, and that is an outstanding catch, but a good throw.
Point after, new holder this year for Gary Anderson, Scott Campbell. It is up, and it is good. 5:26 left to play. First period here in Pittsburgh. Steelers 7, Colts nothing. 3 for 51 and the touchdown on that drive. 58 yards in 9 plays. It took 5:44. The Steelers lead. Anderson ready to kick off. Robbie Martin at the 2. Martin at the 10. Penalty marker down. Martin at the 20, 25, 30. Out to the 31-yard line. But again, a marker is down on the play. Mike Merriweather, the fine linebacker of the Steelers, number 57 on the tackle. And we'll wait till Red Cashin and his crew unravel this one. Offsides indicated against the Steelers. But I would imagine the Colts might say, well, we'll just go ahead and take it here at the 30. Let's see.
Offside on the kicker, number 47, penalty is flag, first down and 10.
in that Tampa Bay-Chicago game. Steve DeBerg to Calvin McGee for Tampa Bay to lead Chicago.
On the 30-yard line.
The Colts decline this penalty and will put it in play at their own 30-yard line. 5:13 left to play in the first quarter. Art Schlichter, who sat out 83 because of the suspension for his gambling problems, at the controls. They're in the I formation. Middleton and McMillan back there. Schlichter, deep drop. Now pressured. Throws over the middle, complete up to the 47-yard line. Schlichter doing a nice job there as he found Bernard Henry, number 88. 16-yard pickup on the play. Robin Cole, 56 on the tackle.
It's a play-action pass from the eye. He's trying to go deep, and Henry's going to come across. He moves around in the pocket. That's what a good athlete does. Throws it over the linebacker. 88 Henry in the middle of your screen makes a 16-yard gain.
Chuck Noll has been concerned about his pass rush. They give Schlichter that much time, he'll have a field day.
And he can move around in the pocket.
First down. Ball at the 46-yard line of the Colts. That's Butler coming in motion. The give goes to McMillan. And McMillan gets maybe one. Bob Costas was in Indianapolis on Sunday night. Let's check it out with him. Bob?
All right, Jay, I'm in New York right now, and the Chiefs have scored the first touchdown of this NFL season. Bill Kenny, 31 yards to Walt Arnold. They were the first to put points on the board. They went 84 yards in 3 plays with the first possession to lead 7-0.
All right, Mr. Costas will keep you updated all afternoon. He had a big time last Sunday night in Indianapolis at the hoedown there. He really wowed him, I understand. Second down and 8. That's Bernard Henry going wide to the far sideline. Schlichter on the run, throws on the run, and it is complete to the tight end, Mark Boyer, number 84. Boyer getting down near the 45-yard line of the Steelers, met there by 33, Harvey Clayton.
You're seeing now what we talked on top. He's getting pressure. He's dropping back in the pocket, and here comes 64 in the middle of your screen. He gets out of traffic, and this is what I like. He's not looking to run the ball. He's looking for an open receiver. And that's what a great athlete does for you at quarterback.
3rd and 1 coming up, Sam, and 3 tight ends in there for Rod Dowhauer's Colts, Beach, Boyer, and Sherwin.
Give the ball to number 32.
Fake it to number 32 and throw to the near sideline, and Boyer dropped it. The pass a little underthrown as they faked to McMillan and went to the tight end.
Jay, he had an opportunity there for a big play. It was an outstanding call by Rod Dowhauer on the sideline, and Schlichter pulled it too short. That play would have taken it right down to the 10-yard line. I like the call because it surprised Pittsburgh. They thought Dickey was going to get Randy McMillan was going to get the football.
Ron Stark's second punt. Back to receive, Rick Woods. Woods, number 22. 2:55 remaining in the first period. The Steelers lead it 7-0. A wobbly kick taken at the 12. Woods at the 15, down at the 17-yard line. Good cover downfield for the Baltimore Colts. Leading the way was Boyer, the tight end, number 84. Punt a moment ago, and the 5-yard return by Woods. Here come the Steelers from their own 17-yard line. With Sam Rutigliano, Jay Randolph here in Pittsburgh. Steelers leading it. The pitch back coming to Abercrombie, and a fine play is made. Loss of about a yard on the play as Johnny Cooks, the fine outside linebacker, number 98, was there. Also, Donnell Thompson, number 99. The offense of the Colts ranked last in 1984. And, of course, this Pittsburgh club came through very, very well. They were 9-7, won the Central Division, scored 387 points. They defeated Denver 24-17 in the divisional playoff. 2nd and 11. Malone over the middle and intercepted. It was batted and intercepted, and coming down the near side with it is Donnell Thompson, number 99. Or was it 98? It was Johnny Cooks who got it. It was tapped by Barry Krause, I believe, number 55.
Malone wanted to throw the ball outside to 24. He took his eyes, and now he reloads, comes back to the inside. He would like to have had that back again. It's too dangerous, too many white shirts. You have to see the white shirts, not the black shirts, when you're throwing a football. That's the one thing he wanted to avoid in a ball game.
And it was Krause, the 7-year veteran from Alabama, who tipped it, and Cooks coming up with it. 5 quarterback sacks and an interception versus the Steelers in '83. He plays very well. 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Schlichter throwing to the far sideline to McMillan. He can't handle it.
Schlichter's got to calm down a little bit. He's thrown a couple balls into home plate on one bounce. He just has to relax a little bit, because now Rod Dowhower is trying to make it as easy as he can for him. He's given him an opportunity to get involved in the very controlled short passing game.
The field goal for Miami by Faude Reveves, and a 33-yarder, and a field goal by Lowry of 48 yards in those 2 games. Kansas City leading now 10-0 over New Orleans. Miami up 3-0 at Houston. 2nd down and 10 at the 19-yard line. That's Robbie Martin at the bottom of your screen. Give up the middle, and banging in there is Middleton. Middleton, the big guy from Florida A&M, is knocked down by David Little, number 50. And of course, Middleton is replacing Curtis Dickey. Didn't make the trip, continuing to have the knee problem. Injured in the Chicago preseason game. And Dickey, a valuable weapon, not in this lineup for Rod Dowhower today.
Oh, you want to be careful right now, Art Schlichter. You don't want to take a sack, and you don't want to take away the opportunity to kick the field goal. It's very important for the Colts right now to get on the board.
Schlichter looking at 3rd and 9. Henry set to the right side. Schlichter goes down at the 21-yard line. Number 93, Keith Willis, the left end, makes the play.
I think Balderschweiler is down on the 30-yard line, the right tackle, number 72. This could hurt the Colts.
It certainly could. Balderschweiler, the 7-year veteran who played at Oklahoma, originally a Miami draft choice, was at Detroit, traded to the Colts. He was out in '84 because of a neck injury. We'll update you on this situation when we come back. The Steelers are leading 7-0. For the Colts, the attempt, Balderschweiler has gone off with a strained left knee. We'll get a further report. Raul Allegre will attempt the field goal. Ron Stark holding at the 29, 39-yard field goal up, and they say good. A couple of the Steelers thought it was wide. They were arguing for a moment, but Red Cashin says it was good. 39-yard field goal gets the Colts on the board. Let's check in at NFL 85 now. Here's Bob Costas.
All right, Jay, in sweltering 100-degree temperatures in Cincinnati, the Seahawks have struck first. David Craig, who's now thrown a touchdown pass in 19 straight games, hits Byron Walker, a beautiful catch just beyond Louis Breeden. 7-zip Seahawks. Back to Jay and Sam.
And Bob, here it is 7-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the lead. 39-yard field goal for Raul Allegre.
Had penetration in the middle. Let's watch it. Let's look at the people in the black shirt with the stripes, not in the black shirts. It hit the top of the goalpost and went inside. Oh, my gosh. You couldn't be luckier than that.
Oh, boy. Miami 10-0. An interception by William Judson. He returned it 61 yards. 10-0 for Mr. Shula's Dolphins. 7-3 here. The Steelers lead. 49 seconds remaining to be played in the first period. Ehrenberg is back. Allegre to put it in play. Ehrenberg, number 24, at the goal line, coming out. He's at the 15, gets to the 20, the 22-yard line. Ehrenberg is quite a story. Out of Colgate. coming off an Achilles tendon injury. Very smart performer. The tackle was made by Tim Sherwin, number 83, going off right there on the specialty unit, the tight end. And the ball will be spotted at the 22-yard line.
Mark Malone now has to forget about that interception, put it in his back pocket, and don't worry about it.
In their 84 opener, the Steelers lost to Kansas City 37-27. In fact, they've lost their last 3 opening games. Malone's going to go upstairs right off the bat. Going long down the sideline for Lips. And he makes a great catch at the 40-yard line.
That was a great catch.
He beats Preston Davis on this play. We talked at the top of the show about what a tremendous athlete he is. 37-yard pickup.
Well, I'm sure Mark Malone liked this. He's got good protection. He throws this up. Now watch how Lips works to the outside and literally turns his body. That is a difficult catch. Preston Davis, the corner, never even saw the ball.
How do you defend against that kind of talent?
You don't. You have to put 3 people out there on top of him.
First down at the 40-yard line. Calvin Sweeney now in number 85 as a wide receiver. This is Lips going in motion and banging it up the middle. Abercrombie for about a yard. Lips in this game has already caught 4 passes for 89 yards, and he has a touchdown. Last stop made by Bickett. We've got him isolated, Sam.
Wayne Bickett, number 50 in the middle of the screen. They love this young man. He's going to beat the block by the fullback, comes inside, and makes the play on Abercrombie. They're really excited about Bickett. They think he is just in the mold of Chip Banks, who also is a linebacker from SC. Number 50 Bickett in the middle of your screen.
Came to camp late, but he has been very, very impressive. The end of the first quarter at Three Rivers Stadium. Steelers 7, Colts 3. Jay Randolph. The scoring, 7-yard pass Malone to Lips, 5:24 the first, 7-0 Pittsburgh. 39-yard field goal, Raul Alegre, 49 seconds left in the first period. 7-3 at the first quarter. The word on Carl Baldischweiler, the right tackle for the Colts. Hyperextended knee. He will not play in this half. And now, apparently, some problem. The officials having a problem with the clock. And they're going to check it out. The ball is just inside the 40-yard line. Tampa Bay 14-7 now over Chicago. They're in the first quarter. Steve DeBerg has just thrown one to Kevin House for 44 yards to get Chicago on the board. Wide to the right goes Lips for the Steelers. It is John Stallworth set to the left side.
Oh, don't leave Stallworth alone.
Handoff going to Abercrombie. Abercrombie at the 35, cracks down inside the 30-yard line. Eugene Daniel, the right corner, number 38, came to make the play. Abercrombie, 610 yards last season. He's out of Baylor, of course.
They're waiting for Abercrombie, 34. It's a draw play. He steps to the side, 34, middle of the screen. This is what he does best now. Good vision, breaks a tackle, turns it up inside, and makes the first down. Abercrombie has to be an integral part of their running game in order for them to have success.
Don't think they got the first down, just inches shy. It's going to be third and inches. They're 1 out of 2 in third down conversions here in the early going. Opening moment of the second period.
Gets the ball to number 30.
Right up the middle, Malone. Down to the 28-yard line. Atlanta leads Detroit 14-0 as Bartkowski has just thrown a 12-yard touchdown pass to Charlie Brown. Seattle has the lead 7-0. Going wide to the right again, Lips. And Stallworth comes to the left side as we look in at Mark Malone, a fellow who has great size and strength.
Don't leave Stallworth alone.
The throw is batted away, and it was intended for Ehrenberg. Barry Krause, who tapped the ball earlier that was intercepted by Cooks, almost came up with the interception here.
I think Barry Krause anticipated they were going to go to Ehrenberg. And he jumps right in front of the ball. He had to know that's where they're going to go. I tell you what, he should have made that play, and that thing would have gone the other way. They'd have been lining up the extra point.
Ball is just inside the 30-yard line. Second down and 10. In motion goes Abercrombie. Malone over the middle, completed. And there is Stallworth at the 11-yard line with a first down. Eugene Daniel, number 38, makes the tackle.
It's just a matter of time when you cover Stallworth one-on-one. Releasing off the line, shooting, no bumper run. Right to the outside, you're giving him too much room to make the catch. And that's very difficult for 38 Daniels because he's giving Stallworth.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford, who invites you to drive the new Ford Escort. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Light Beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less. And by Owens Corning, our building products put your house in the pink.
We want to apologize to those of you expecting to be watching Miami and Houston in action. We hope to have it rectified so you can be watching that play in just a few moments. We'll keep you up to date. Here is the kickoff as Anderson puts it in play. Robbie Martin is deep. He's going to come out. He's at the 10 and in trouble at the 15. Down he goes at the 16-yard line. An ill-advised return possibly as number 91, Greg Carr, was down there to handle the play. Ball spotted closer to the 7-yard line. James Brooks has scored on a 15-yard run in that, this is the St. Louis game, 7-0. And Seattle and Cincinnati are tied 7-7. Brooks scoring on a 15-yard run in that one. It's 14-3 here. Pittsburgh, they just went 7 plays, 78 yards. It took 3:15. Lips with 5 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. First down from the 17-yard line for the Colts. That's McMillan in trouble. Oh, boy. They're keying on him. Let's move now to Bob Costas and an update from NFL 85.
Jay, as some viewers have already seen, the Dolphins have taken a 10-0 lead on the Oilers as Warren Moon's pass is tipped, and it comes down in the hands of William Judson. He goes 61 yards for a touchdown. It's 10-0 early in the second. Dan Marino with the injured left arm still not back. Strzok is in there for the Dolphins.
And for those of you expecting to see that game, we're going to get it to you just as quickly as we can at Miami-Houston action. The handoff to McMillan. McMillan is across the 15-yard line. McMillan now has 6 carries and just 13 yards. Robin Cole, 56 on the tackle. In the Kansas City-New Orleans game, a Morton Anderson field goal of 55 yards has put New Orleans on the board. It's 10-3 Kansas City. Ball out to the 17-yard line. 11:22 left to play in this first half. Third down situations for the Colts up to now. They're 0 for 3.
And they better be careful on this one, Jay.
Tight end Boyer coming in motion to the wing on the right side. Now goes back the other way. Now comes back this way. And here is Schlichter. Schlichter throwing out to the tight end Boyer. And Boyer is stopped short of the first down at the 24-yard line by Brian Hinkle, number 53. Oh, it's punting time for the Colts.
Be careful right now. They're going to put some pressure on them. They almost blocked the last 2 punts.
Ron Stark has never had a kick block either in college at Florida State or in professional play. This is his 4th season. Back to receive, Rick Woods. Stark gets it away, and it's a dandy. A high boomer. Woods all the way back to the 19. In trouble at the 20, out to the 25, 26. Almost stepped away. A 56-yard punt, 6-yard return. Frank Middleton, number 43, on the tackle. 9:59 left in the first half. 14-3 Steelers. 14-3. Frank Pollard returning to action after missing the preseason with that broken left hand. The Steelers have missed the veteran running back. He averaged more than 4 yards a rush in his 5 seasons. And the handoff going to Pollard. Pollard is the Steelers' most important runner, I think, Sam. Not bad for an 11th round draft pick. Cliff Odom, 93, made the tackle.
This is what they do best. Ball's going to go to Pollard to the inside. They're a trapping game. Now a linebacker comes in the middle of the screen, makes an outstanding hit right there. That's number 93.
Cliff Odom with the tackle. 2nd down and 5 from the 30-yard line. Lewis Lips going wide to the right. Abercrombie to the outside. Just short of the 1st down. He got it to the 35-yard line before Barry Krause, number 55, upended him. And now we have a little shenanigans early on.
Johnny Cooks and Frank Pollard, number 98 and number 30, have just started the 1st round.
Do you think it'll go 15 in this heat?
I don't think so. In this heat now.
All right, checking the scoreboard, we'll update you as Miami leads 10-0 in the 2nd quarter at Houston. Seattle and Cincinnati knotted up at 7. Giants out on top of Philadelphia. 3rd down and 1 at the 34-yard line. Steelers 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversions here in the 1st half.
Play action pass. No.
And they give it to Pollard on a little delay, and he's got the 1st down. He's, of course, the man who took over for Franco Harris here. A couple of more scores as we keep you up to date on this first Sunday of action. San Francisco leading Minnesota 7-0, world champions. The Cardinals lead at Cleveland 7-0. Kansas City 10-3 over New Orleans. First down and 10 at the 39-yard line. Play action over the middle. Stallworth, beautiful at the 40, down to the 35, down to the 34-yard line.
They're throwing the ball to Lips. Now they're going to go back to Stallworth. That's the tandem that was 2nd in the league last year to Clayton and Duper. Stallworth's going to release off the line of scrimmage, and the corner is too far off. He's going to break inside, and 38 Daniels is too far, and this is what Stallworth does well, too. He adds yardage on.
Another view, Sam.
If I were Malone, what a crispness with 82 Stallworth and 83 Lips. I don't know what the Colts are going to do right now if they don't put pressure on Malone.
27-yard pickup, 1st down at the 34-yard line for the Steelers. They're leading 14-3. Pollard maybe got 2. Got near the 30-yard line. Wayne Pickett, the rookie, number 50, and Byron Smith, number 91. Smith playing at right end, made the play. It's Atlanta leading now 14-7 over Detroit. Eric Hipple has just passed to Jones for an 8-yard score. And Tampa Bay leads 21-7 over Chicago. Deferred to Jerry Bell for a touchdown there. New England 12-0 over Green Bay. 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 6. Ehrenberg goes in motion. The give to Pollard. Pollard down to the 25. 1st down. He was out of bounds at the 23. Nesby Glasgow carried him out over there along with Preston Davis, number 27. Glasgow 25. And Pollard with that reckless style, that winning style. Of course, he got the winning touchdown in the playoff game at Denver last season. Pittsburgh now with 10 first downs in the 1st half. The Colts have only 2. Steve Morse is in the backfield now for the Steelers, number 47. He was the leading rusher in preseason. Free agent out of Virginia, the rookie. 1st and 10 at the 22. Trouble there. Malone called a number, but it didn't click.
We had a busted play. Apparently, everybody wasn't dialed into the same number. It looked to me like Abercrombie, 34, ran away from the play, and Malone was standing there as Chuck Noll right now, wondering the play that he called and what they thought about it. Malone turns around. I think he's looking for Abercrombie right there, and then he sees that he's not coming, so you better dial that phone and just fall to your knees and go to the 2nd down.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 at the 24. Abercrombie in motion. Malone wants to throw. He does, and it's a beauty. Just short of the 1st down. Lewis Lips again. Lips throwing himself at the football and making the catch. The safety men, Randall 35 and Glasgow 25, converge to make the tackle. Lips, the offensive rookie of the year in the National League last season, #1 draft choice out of Southern Mississippi, 6 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns here in the first half.
We have another 3rd down and short, which they've converted, I think, the greater percentage of the time.
3rd and 1. There goes Abercrombie in motion. The pick is to Pollard, and Pollard doesn't get there. Fine play by Preston Davis, the left corner. He came up number 27 and really cracked him.
This is going to be interesting to see what Chuck Noll is going to do in this situation, but he's going to kick the field goal, and I think he should. He's got a 14-3 lead, and 17-3 looks better than gambling on 4th down. It's okay to gamble, Jay. You just have to know when to do it.
Got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, the song says, doesn't it?
Amen.
4:45 left to go and counting in this first half. Gary Anderson, very cool and confident kicker with his new holder, Scott Campbell. 31-yarder on the way. It is good. Timeout here as the Steelers lead it 17-3. Rutigliano here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Steelers 17-3 over Indianapolis in the second quarter with 4:34 to play. Anderson ready to kick it off, and Robbie Martin back there set to receive it. And Martin in the end zone, and well, learned a little lesson maybe from his last try at that.
Got a little coaching on the sideline.
This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the National Football League, is prohibited. The Colts ready to go. They've been 28th and last in passing offense the past 2 seasons, averaged 132 yards a game last season, 145 yards a game in '83. The rushing offense has fallen on evil times, and without Dickey today, it's been tough. Here is a pass complete up to the 32-yard line to Ray Butler, as Art Schlichter put that one on consignment in fine fashion. 14-yard pickup. Harvey Clayton, 33, on the tackle.
Art Schlichter showed a lot of patience and poise. He drops back, he focuses, he refocuses, waits for him to get open, puts the ball right between the 8 and the 0. I like that. He showed a lot of poise, and that's a dangerous area to throw the football. And they need some first downs now.
And they have one at the 35. And Schlichter falls down, coming out of there trying to throw, gets it away, and they're going to call him for intentional grounding. Nobody was in the zone, nobody anywhere near it. You're always telling your quarterbacks it's important to get rid of that ball, but in that case, there was nobody there.
I think he got disoriented when he went to the ground, and I think he did the right thing. He was trying to get rid of the football.
Intentional grounding, number 10 on the offense. Loss of down, and stay it out.
Red Cashin, the referee this afternoon. Rod Dowhauer, the 13th head coach in the Colts history. The Colts have not had a winning season in 7 years. We'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
You're watching WPXI TV.
Jay Randolph and Sam Rutigliano looking in with you as the Colts are in the shotgun on 2nd down and 20. And a bad pass from center. Schlichter picks it up and comes out of there, but is hit and goes down at the 20. And a big play was made by number 67, Gary Dunn, the nose tackle.
Well, the most difficult thing you do to a quarterback in a shotgun is bounce the ball back to him, because the shotgun, the quarterback takes his eye off the ball. You can see 10, he takes his eye, he can't focus upfield, and now the defensive secondary looks like a maze. And so he pulls the ball down, and that really wasn't Schlichter's fault. That was the very first shotgun, and so Donaldson didn't pass the ball back as well as I think he can.
Second time that the quarterback has been sacked today. They're 0 for 3 in 3rd down situations, and this is 0 for 4, excuse me, in 3rd down situations, and they're facing a long one here, 3rd and 25. Again out of the shotgun. Schlichter. A lot of time, penalty flag is down, and the pass is complete up to the 34-yard line. Making the catch there was Butler, or Henry, excuse me. That's Henry, number 88. And Eric Williams made the tackle, number 21. But let's see. It looks like it might go against the Colts. Could have a holding call.
I think we have a holding call, but they're refusing it.
Red Cashin will tell us.
Holding, number 75 on the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
It went against Chris Hitton. He's played one full season, 83. Was elected to start the Pro Bowl after the rookie season. Started at left guard between Munoz of the Bengals and Stevenson of the Dolphins. Suffered a broken leg in the 6th game of the 84 season. At left tackle today, he was charged with that infraction. Punting time for Ron Stark. Eric Woods set to receive, number 22. Or Rick Woods, excuse me, not Eric.
They're going to block that punt, but he get it. Oh, what a mistake. Don't throw the ball away. That could have been a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
It certainly could have. He got a bad snap. Some problems with the Colts. And here it is.
It's not a bad snap. He should feel those. Now he picks up the ball. Punters don't read defenses. Just keep the ball. You don't complete passes turning your back, flipping it over your head. They were very fortunate there.
Another angle here.
What he should do now is just take the ball and run with it. Now he can't read the defense. He flips it back. Now that's a new addition to their offense.
I remember when a place kicker tried that, Garo Yepremian. Well, a problem for the talented Ron Stark there. And the Steelers get the football at the 35-yard line of the Colts with 2:47 to play in the first half. Thompson, 85 and 87, the wide receivers, to give to Abercrombie. Abercrombie at the 30 and out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Tate Randall, the safety man, number 35, ran him out of bounds.
Number 30, Frank Pollard, and the tight end on that side, Darren Nelson, number 81. We had some outstanding block. It looked like they had a 10-pin over there. The whole outside was knocked down.
Abercrombie, we'll look at him again, Sam, averaged 79 yards a game in the last 6 games of 84.
Look at the block at number 30. He knocked them all down. And Abercrombie, 34, just it's like going through the Holland Tunnel.
Pollard and Abercrombie working well. 2nd down and 1. Malone, play action, put it on his hip, all kinds of time.
Thompson.
And he couldn't handle it. Luigi Thompson couldn't handle it. There is a marker down back upfield. Might be holding against the Steelers. Coverage by Glasgow and Davis, 25 and 27 on the play.
Well, the flag's being picked up.
No foul. They picked the flag up. Chuck Knoll, 53 years old, from Cleveland, Ohio.
He's looking for Stallworth to his left. Now he's going to refocus. He sees Thompson, and this is a pretty good throw. Let's take a look at it. Thompson's behind. He should make that play. He's 6'6". It could have been an outstanding play, but you hope he makes those.
Steelers are 3 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and 1 at the 34. Abercrombie in motion. Pollard gets the call, and I think he's got the first down. It's close.
He got a good spot.
Yes, he did. They're going to spot it inside at the 24-yard line. Stop was made by Daniel, 38, and Vick at 50, and it is a first down. Abercrombie, 25 yards on 6 carries, and Pollard now 36 yards on 9 carries. Clock is running. We're near the 2-minute mark. Miami 13-0 over Houston. Seattle on top of Cincinnati in the 2nd quarter. And the whistle and the 2-minute warning here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. We'll be back with more action on this opening Sunday of NFL play right after these messages. Tad, the Steelers leading it 17-3. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line for Pittsburgh.
Blitz. Watch your back.
He got it away, but underthrows as he was intending for Stallworth. Malone in trouble from the backside, coming around.
Number 25, Nesby Glasgow.
That safety blitz caused Malone to have to hurry this throw a bit.
25's on the outside. The Colts have to gamble now. This could be a big play. Someone came late. He hits him, and he was lucky to get the ball off. And that's why he didn't get the ball to score at 82. The Colts now have to gamble. They can't afford for Pittsburgh to go in there with another score.
Malone is 8 out of 13, 155 yards, an interception, and 2 touchdowns. And a timeout.
We had a problem
Pittsburgh.
with the play coming in from the sideline, and they called a timeout. They have 3.
We'll take a timeout with 1:54 left to play here in the first half, and the Steelers leading. Half, Coach. Colts with just 13 yards on the ground. The Steelers with 61.
We talked at the top about the 2 quarterbacks and their supporting cast. It's the John and Louis show on offense, and Abercrombie and Pollard are running the ball, so Malone now has a lot of tools. He's driving a Cadillac. And poor Art Schlichter right now, he's got 4 flat tires. He can't get anything going, and it's tough on a young quarterback.
This is the first start in an opener for Mark Malone in his 6th year now. Remember, he caught a pass for a 90-yard touchdown thrown by Bradshaw when he was playing a little wide receiver back in November of '81. On 2nd and 10, the give goes to Pollard. Pollard bangs it all the way to the 10-yard line and a first down.
Outstanding call. They're in a coverage defense right now. They're trying to stop Stallworth and Lips because those are the 2 receivers that hurt him. It was a nice call from the sideline. Drop back, make it look like a pass, give it to Pollard, find your block, gets a good block by 61, breaks it to the inside, and now get up in the middle of the defense and get as much yardage as you can.
61, Blake Wingle for the Steelers. The stop was made by Cooks, number 98. First down. Ball just inside the 10-yard line.
Watch Louis.
Malone gets it away just as he is hit. Incomplete pass. Barry Krause, the inside linebacker, number 55, who's had an outstanding first half, making the play for the Colts.
You're seeing the Colt defense now gambling. There's 50 Pickett blitzing to the outside. Krause is going to come inside. He beats the blocker, and here he comes free and makes the hit on number 16. Barry Krause, the inside linebacker, and they were fortunate there that he didn't fumble the football.
2nd down. Rich Ehrenberg in the backfield, number 24 for the Steelers. Darrell Nelson, 81, is the tight end.
Be patient, Mark Malone. Be patient.
Malone straight back, throws, and it is a touchdown. Rich Ehrenberg was there. A top catch for Ehrenberg as he was backpedaling. Ehrenberg coming back off the Achilles tendon, beating Johnny Cooks on the play.
Ehrenberg is a role player. He's one-on-one. Mark is looking at him all the way. He's 21st to the outside. He beats the linebacker, and that's his job. He beat number 98, Johnny Cooks. Linebackers can't cover backs in the open field, and that's what Ehrenberg's role is.
Anderson kicks the point. 24-3, the Steelers, and we have 1:03 left to play in this first half. Coming up next here on NBC Sports, of course, we've got NFL 85 at halftime, and then the second half of our doubleheader today. Most of you get an opportunity to look in on Marcus Allen and the Los Angeles Raiders. They play the Jets, and there's regional action, of course. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Your team plays here, so kick off the second half of our doubleheader on NBC Sports. Well, Malone has 166 yards through the air for these Steelers, 9 of 15, 3 touchdowns, and the interception. Malone, 7-4 as a starter in the '84 season. Talking things over with Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg, a number 9 draft pick from Colgate. He broke all the rushing records there. Van Egan and that bunch, he just tore up all those records at Colgate.
Van Egan and Marv Herbert. Boy, that's a nice scene right there. Ehrenberg and Malone talking about their touchdown pass. He's now thrown 3 touchdown passes.
Anderson kicks off. It is Robbie Martin back to receive again in the end zone, and he's going to down it. He'll come to the 20-yard line, and the Colts will have 63 seconds with which to operate here in this first half. And for those of you who want to be updated on the scores, and especially those of you expecting to see that Miami-Houston game, we'll try to get it for you. 13-6. We'll update it for you right on the air. Second quarter of play. Seattle leading Cincinnati now by 14 in the second quarter. The Giants holding on against Philadelphia, shutting them out. San Francisco leading Minnesota 7-0 second quarter to play. Cleveland's gotten a field goal to get within 4 of the Cardinals. They're in the second quarter on the lakefront in Cleveland. And Kansas City bombing New Orleans 20-3. From the shotgun, Schlichter, lots of time, throws a short pass, underthrown, caught by Middleton, but he had to go down so low to pick it off the shoe tops that he couldn't move much before David Little, number 50, made the call. Hurry-up offense.
They're going to hurry-up offense right now to save time. They're trying to move the ball so maybe they can go in at the half, release an attempted field goal. Now, this is a design play to get away from the traffic. He's going to throw across the field to number 31, Robbie Martin, but he overthrew him. That was a design play to try to get Schlichter out of the traffic so at least he could have some vision upfield and not worry about the pass rush.
Clock is stopped with 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Art Schlichter. It was Rod Dowhauer who, after the battle between Schlichter and Pagel through the preseason and training camp, said it's my gut feeling that I should go with Schlichter.
And I think that was a good decision. Schlichter just needs a supporting cast. He cannot do it all by himself.
Again from the shotgun on 3rd and 8. The rush is on. Schlichter on the run. Up the sideline at the 25.
Hook
back
slide
to the 30. And he got to the 32-yard line.
He's running for his life. We have a penalty up on the 20-yard line.
Tackle was made by Robin Cole, number 56. And let's see what referee Red Cashin can tell us about this infraction. 23 seconds remaining to be played. Offside, Steelers. Rod Dowhauer looking out. Rod, who developed the quarterback you knew very well, Brian Sipe.
Penalty is declined. First down.
Offside is refused. And timeout now for Indianapolis.
It's a there's Chuck Noll on the sideline. He's pretty happy about things as he talks to Malone and send the defensive player in there.
He was on his troops after their last preseason game. He didn't like the way they looked.
And I think they've responded. But I think Chuck, at times, can be a little bit of a John Barrymore. He knew this is a good football team, and he was just trying to get them to play to the soles of their feet.
A very special man, as we remind you that Bob and Ahmad and Axe will be along at halftime NFL 85. Chuck Noll, he always seems to find a way to win. With inferior talent sometimes, and he's rebuilding here without tearing the house down, you might say.
Well, I think they're reloading.
That's right.
He is an outstanding coach. He has done so much. 9 divisional championships, 4 Super Bowls, and they're a team now that is in transition, and while they're in transition, they continue to win.
He held his own when Frank O'Harris wanted more money than Chuck thought he was worth, and I think it turned out to be the right decision.
Well, there's no question about it, and I think sometimes you have to make those decisions, and they're the best decisions in terms of for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
1st and 10, the Colts operating from their own 31-yard line. 23 seconds left in the first half. Schlichter to the far sideline, completes it over there to Butler, and Butler is held in bounds at the 38-yard line by Harvey Clayton. Clayton, who has beaten out Sam Washington, number 33, at the right corner slot, and timeout Indianapolis.
With 14 seconds left now, the timeout with the Colts, what they're going to have to do is try to throw the ball upfield, maybe get to the 40-yard line, call a timeout, and they've got a long-range field goal kicker. But it's almost impossible now, because if you throw the ball in the middle of the field, you could very easily throw an interception. And the problem right now is Schlichter cannot rely on his running game, and they're putting too much pressure on him in the passing game. And it's what Dowhauer wanted to avoid going into this game.
Schlichter, a remarkable career, of course, for the Buckeyes of Ohio State. 36-11-1 they were when he was quarterbacking them. 2 Big Ten titles. This is a little different league, of course. But he's a fine talent. It's going to be 2nd down and 3 from the 38. 14 seconds left in this first half.
We have 3 receivers on one side of the bottom of your screen. Look possibly for the alley-oop.
Schlichter goes the other way, and it's dropped by a man out there who was all alone, Randy McMillan.
He would have taken that ball to midfield.
They put the 3 wide receivers right, let McMillan go out left, nobody there, and he drops the ball. Well, that wasn't Schlichter's fault.
No, he could have added some yardage onto that, number 32, Randy McMillan. It's a very frustrating day right now, and what Rod Dower has to do is get in there at the half and keep this thing together. He's got to make sure that this ship stays afloat.
Seattle 21-10 over Cincinnati. We'll run down all the scores for you, of course, on NFL 85. Schlichter steps up, drops the ball, picks it back up, and goes down at the 42-yard line. Mark Catano, who is now the noseman, number 78, out of Valdosta State down in Georgia, made the tackle, and we come to the end of the first half. First half comes to a close. It started, the scoring did, on a 7-yard touchdown pass, Malone to Lips, 5:24 of the first. Then a 39-yard field goal, Raul Alegre. It was 7-3 Pittsburgh at the end of the first half. 11 yards, Malone to Lips. 31 yards, Anderson the field goal at 4:34 of the second. And then the touchdown pass from Malone to Ehrenberg. And we have a 24-3 score on the
throwing the ball, and by the same token, on the other side of the coin, Schlichter is really not having a good day of it. But again, as we said on the top, he's not getting the supporting cast that he needs to have.
And we're set for the second half kickoff coming up right now. The Colts will put it in play. Raul Alegre punting it down the field, and it goes out of bounds, and we'll do it again. Five-yard penalty will come up as the kick comes out of bounds here on the near sideline. We start this second half as the temperature down on the field, they tell me, Sam, is up at about 115 degrees on the AstroTurf.
Well, that's another good reason for me not being down there this year.
I'll tell you. Look at that thermometer. Wow-wee. Rich Ehrenberg. As you see Old Glory flying high above Three Rivers Stadium, we do have a little breeze, thank goodness, up here.
It's a lot more comfortable than it was at the beginning of the game, and I really respect players in games like this, particularly early in the year. It takes an awful lot of them in this kind of heat.
There's the Steelers' record at Three Rivers, but they, as I mentioned earlier in the telecast, have lost their last 3 home openers. Alegre again, and again to the near sideline, and out of bounds again. Another 5 yards will be tacked on.
Looks like Alegre is the best kickoff return stat for the Steelers.
I tell you, he's had a little trouble here. Alegre, though, is one of the very fine kickers along with Anderson. We're seeing 2 good ones here this afternoon. Dowhauer a little upset. Rod, of course, knows that these Colts have not had a winning season in 7 years. The last 2 years, Rod was at St. Louis, and we got to know him very, very well, our hometown, and the offensive coordinator over there. He was a small college All-American at San Diego State, a fellow who's been touched by the likes of Don Coryell and Mr. Walsh at San Francisco. He worked for Walsh when Walsh was at Stanford.
He's had an outstanding career. He was the head coach at Stanford and the offensive coordinator at both Denver and St. Louis. This is a difficult situation right now because Pittsburgh has moved their up-backs, Washington and Moss, and now there's Ehrenberg, and any kind of return right now is going to give them the ball up past the 35-yard line. And the one thing the Colts don't want right now is for Pittsburgh to go down there with good field position, keep control of the ball, and score another touchdown or field goal.
All right, here we go again. Raul Alegre, the third-year man from Texas. Again comes to the near sideline, and it goes into the end zone.
He was lucky there. But he did the right thing. He hooked the ball to the side because they had only one single receiver, and fortunately for him, it bounced in the end zone and went on a 20 because anything else would have brought it up to the 40-yard line. Well,
we start the second half with Mark Malone at quarterback, Abercrombie and Pollard, the wide receivers Stallworth and Lips, Darrell Nelson, the tight end. Mike Webster today playing in his 162nd consecutive game for the Steelers. 7 times a Pro Bowler, number 52 at center. Wolfley and Long are at the guards, and Rostowski and Ilkin are at the tackles. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. And on first down, play action, and the throw comes out to Pollard at the 30, 34-yard line. Pollard picks up a first down and made it look easy. Pickup of about 14 on the play. Odom 93, Cooks 98 on the tackle. Talking about Mike Webster a moment ago.
I had him in the Pro Bowl in 1982. He has played a long time. He is very strong up top, 52 in the middle of the screen, and makes the block on number 92, Brad White.
Of the 5 starters, Sam, on this offensive line, none of these players were drafted higher than the 4th round.
Which is true of offensive linemen in this league. It happens many times.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line. Getting the call, Pollard pops outside. He's at the 40, 45-yard line, another first down.
What a difference Pollard has made to their offense. He has not played in the preseason. There's 30 on the sideline. Number 34, if he wants to get the good yardage, he has to block. He makes an outstanding block on 50. That's all he needs. It doesn't look great, but Pollard gets back to the outside. All 34 had to do is occupy number 50, the linebacker.
Abercrombie doing the job for Pollard. Pollard now 60 yards on 11 carries. First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Third quarter of play. Steelers lead at 24-3. In control, Abercrombie got about 2. Brad White, the noseman, number 92, making the stop.
We're seeing the game plan change now, a little now for the Steelers. They're in the I formation, and I think they're going to want to run the ball a little bit.
Abercrombie, great things really expected of him this season, coming off his best season as a pro. After getting hurt in the second game and missing 2, he bounced back to run 610 yards and then had that great postseason with 143 yards versus Denver and Miami. Here's a throw complete, and it's Lewis Lips again, and they go Lou, and it's a first down at the 43-yard line. Preston 27 on the tackle.
Malone drops back. He's got good protection. He can count the house. He's looking for the screen. He takes the option pattern to Lips, number 83. Coming up to the inside, Preston Davis, number 27, is playing off just like the other corner, Daniels, on Stallworth.
He had 7 receptions last year against San Diego. He has 7 now, so that ties his career high. First and 10 at the 43-yard line. Steelers moving here in the opening moments of the third quarter. Banging across is Abercrombie inside the 40, gets to the 39-yard line. Stop made by Barry Krause, number 55, who continues to play very well for the Colts. I should mention Abercrombie. There's one statistic that all coaches and all fans respect. Coming into today's game, he had handled the ball 197 times without fumbling.
Let's hope he doesn't fumble on the next play.
All right, yeah.
Both Abercrombie and Pollard are both from Baylor University, 2 Baylor Bears.
The boys from Waco, Texas. Play action fake. A lot of time.
Stallworth.
And Stallworth couldn't get turned around. The pass to the outside when I think Stallworth thought it was going to be to the inside. And is he all right?
Yeah, he's fine. I think there was a miscommunication. His shoe is off. Oh, no, he might have hurt his ankle as he came back to the ball. Well, we don't want to see that happen. This is an outstanding receiver, and they need him in the offense right now. But they have Ouija Thompson, number 87, who's a fine replacement.
Please call your answer.
Yard catch in the Indianapolis game last year, the one that the Steelers ended up losing. He's in there now to replace Stallworth. The word is it was just a cramp in the right leg of Stallworth. 3rd and 6 at the 39. Calvin Sweeney, number 85, is in the slot right. Malone, and nobody there. Pass overthrown. Ehrenberg was in the middle, down the seam, but the pass was too tall. Here's that play a moment ago that Stallworth came up with the cramp, Sam.
We had a miscommunication. He's throwing the ball to the outside, and I think Stallworth was going upfield. And he falls. And in a day like today, you're going to have that. I think we'll have more in the second half. The thing that concerns me right now, Jay, is that the Colt defense is on the field too much. They're wearing them down.
On the field for the first time, rookie Harry Newsom, the new punter for the Steelers, out of Wake Forest, takes over for Craig Colquitt here. The punt coming down and into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Newsom, an 8th-round draft choice out of Wake Forest, averaged 44.1 in preseason. Timeout with 11:24 left to play in the third quarter.
Today's game is brought to you by Stroh's and Stroh Light, the circle of sports beer. By the Polaroid Corporation, innovation in photographic and video products. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
First down for the Colts. Ball at the 20-yard line. Number 84, Mark Boyer, going over on the wing right. Now coming back to the near sideline. Art Schlichter, incomplete. And the pressure was on from the nose man, Gary Dunn, 67. Dunn bearing down on Schlichter. There is Dunn out of Miami. Had a knee injury, missed the Giants game. Number 6 draft choice, 9th year, very consistent performer.
Well, they feel he belongs in the Pro Bowl. The defensive coaches have said that he's the most underrated defensive player in the American Football Conference. And I can attest to that because I saw him, unfortunately, twice a year.
Second down and 10 at the 20-yard line. The Colts want to try to get something going offensively, Sam, to keep that defense of theirs off the field, I would think. Schlichter has more time. He throws and underthrows. He's done that a number of times today. I don't know whether he's rushing his motion. Maybe you have some thoughts, but it was intended for Mark Boyer. He was there. The ball just wasn't delivered.
Well, he's having a problem now. It's his first game. Nothing's going well. What he needs to do right now is develop some type of continuity. He needs to complete a couple of passes. Right now, he's pressing. He's not seeing the receivers, and I'm sure it's very difficult with Rod Dowhower, as you see him on the sideline, to call the game, because right now they just can't really go to that basket and get anything. And there he is talking to Mike Pagel on the sideline with the head coach, Rod Dowhower.
Yeah, that's Pagel, 18, and Matt Kofler, number 12. Third down and 10. Over the middle, too tall. Well, he's been low on the last couple of throws. This time he's trying to get it to Pat Beach, the tight end, and it was too high. Clock stopped with 11:09 left to play in the third quarter. And punting time for the Colts once more. Start with 3 punts today and a 36.6 average. Downfield to receive this punt. Should set the Steelers up in pretty good shape. To the far sideline, Woods at the 43. Stepped up at the 45, is in a lot of trouble, going the wrong way. Gets away at the 50, down to the 49-yard line. Oh, boy. Penalty marker, though, is down. See a penalty marker down back at the 20-yard line. 37-yard punt.
It's against the Colts, and I think the Steelers will take the play. Right now, you have to be careful, because one of the first things that goes in a game like this, which is so lopsided, is special teams. The Colts have to bring it together.
Number 81 of the offense. Penalty is declined. First down at 10.
Pat Beach was an illegal man downfield. Look at this. Some fine work here.
Woods does an outstanding job of coming out of the break. Right there, he picks up about 7 or 8, 10 yards on that catch on his own.
Ready to set up shop at the 49-yard line of the Colts. Malone uses play action. He's going long down.
Got him.
Oh, he didn't handle it.
He had to throw that ball with a little air. He drove the ball and didn't give Lips a chance to come out of the fake to run underneath the pass. Watch Malone. There he is in the huddle right now. Watch him drop back. You see, it's a play-action pass. Got plenty of time to throw. Lips is going to stop and go. Now, don't drill the ball. Throw it up. Put a little air on it so Lips has a chance to come out of his break, because that's a touchdown. Watch Malone right now. Air the ball. See, he drives the ball. He doesn't give Lips a chance because Lips ran a hook pattern, came out of the fake, and he didn't give him a chance to reaccelerate.
2nd and 10. Abercrombie down to the 41-yard line. Abercrombie romping with that football in fine fashion. Run out of bounds by Tate Randall, number 35. Barry Krause again, 55 there on the play.
34 is going to run a sweep to the outside. Look at the blocking up front. He gets to the outside. Now he blows his head, breaks a tackle, and that's the kind of yardage the real good backs give you. He contacted, missed about 3 tackles, and picked up about 7 or 8 extra yards. Abercrombie is the young man, as you said often in the broadcast. He has to be the player that they drafted him on the first round for.
Rich Ehrenberg replaces Abercrombie. 3rd down and 2. A little flare pass out to Pollard. Pollard's got the first down. He got it to the 38-yard line. Nesby Glasgow, number 25, the strong safety, making the stop. Baseball today, the Cardinals leading the Mets by 1.5. Scoreless with Atlanta and St. Louis today. California and Baltimore scoreless. Toronto leading 2-0 with Minnesota. Toronto's lead just a game and a half now in the American League East. Kansas City 1-0 over Milwaukee in the 2nd inning. Kansas City, of course, 1.5 out in the West. Here's Pollard. Pollard gets maybe a yard or 2. Yankees in a rain delay this afternoon. The Yankees are involved in action against Oakland, and there's a rain delay there. Nesby Glasgow, number 25, on that tackle. Later today, the Mets will play at Los Angeles. Remember, next Saturday, the Cardinals are going to be featured along with the Mets. Seattle leading by 4 at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh now with 17 first downs. The Colts with 5. 2nd down and 9 from the 37, and it is complete to Lips. And Lips is down to the 25, still going, down to the 20. Oh, boy, Lips shows his tremendous athletic ability there. Some people would call that second effort. I like to call it continuous effort.
No question. He came from the soles of his feet. He's a lot stronger. His Lips coming off the line of scrimmage. This was a blitz. He read it, caught the ball. Now watch him add yardage. Go to the inside, and he has great strength. He's not a big man, but he is strong. 91, you can't hug. You got to kiss when you tackle that young man.
8 catches, a new single-game record for Lips in his young career.
He's going to break a lot of records before he's through. Breaking tackles, adding yardage. He almost broke it all the way. You have to wrap when you tackle Louis Lips.
1st and 10 from the 20. Ehrenberg goes in motion. They throw to Stallworth. Stallworth stiff-arming his way down to the 16-yard line. Run out of bounds by Daniel, 38, and Krause, 55. Lips with that catch a moment ago. A new individual record for him in a game. 8, as we told you. 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Career high for Lips, who played, of course, at Southern Mississippi. 45 catches last year. Went to the Pro Bowl. Giants still shutting out Philadelphia, 3rd quarter. San Francisco, 7-0 over Minnesota there in the 3rd. St. Louis leads by 4 in the 3rd quarter at Cleveland. Here it is 24-3 Steelers, and they're knocking at the door once more. Abercrombie in motion to give to Pollard. Pollard inside the 10, fights his way to the 7-yard line. And Pollard and Abercrombie are doing a job. Nesby Glasgow, number 25, on the tackle. The other fellas who are doing the job are Rostowski and Wolfley and Webster and Logg and Ilkin.
Watch the middle of the line. Watch them push people back as Pollard breaks up to the inside. Watch the white jerseys being pushed, and the black jersey. Pollard breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, keeps his feet, and picks up about 7 or 8 yards on his own.
1st down. Goal to go at the 6-yard line. The quick pitch to the corner. Touchdown, Stallworth.
the same play to Lips for the touchdown. Nice and soft to the outside. The coverage is not that bad. You just can't cover him one-on-one in that situation. It's pitch and catch.
The point after is up and good. And with 7:36 to play in the third quarter, 31-3 Steelers. Down passes, ties a career high, 4 touchdowns thrown in a game for him. We talked at the beginning of this broadcast about this man coming into his own.
Yesterday, he related a story from Joe Green. And Joe Green said, Mark, don't pressure. Don't be impatient. Someday, you'll just wake up out on that field and you'll find yourself. I think today, he took a major step towards that. He looks a lot more comfortable. And as Joe Green said, I couldn't agree with him more.
Robbie Martin out at the 15. At the 20 goes down. Boy, coming out of nowhere was Todd Spencer, number 36, to make the play. There's Spencer right in the middle of the screen, and he's out of USC, the second-year man, doing a nice job on the specialty unit. That drive a moment ago, 49 yards and 8 plays. Some more scores. Kansas City having a big afternoon in the Superdome. Oh, Detroit's come back to tie up Atlanta in the third quarter. Here it is 31-3, the Steelers and the Colts trying to get something going. That's Boyer. Goes to the wing left. Now back to the right, back to the left. They run this little action play a couple of times. They give it to McMillan. And Robin Cole, number 56, makes the tackle.
Blocked by Cole and Catano.
Chicago coming back against Tampa Bay. They're scoring some points there. This Indianapolis club, as we look at New England bombing Green Bay, Indianapolis in their game on August 24th against Denver passed on 18 of the first 19 plays. Asked Rod Dowhower about that, if it was by design. He said yes, at that time it was, but it's 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Schlichter. Oh, that was almost picked off.
By Mike Merriweather.
That's right. The pass was intended for McMillan, but Merriweather, look at him. He said the ball hit me right in the chest. If I could have just closed on it.
You see, 71, the tackle, is going to take him back. He's going to try to throw the ball at 32, and see, Merriweather's right in the way. The tackle took Merriweather too far back. He should have kept him on the line of scrimmage. And I'll tell you what, Merriweather almost took that thing and went in.
The tackle you mentioned, number 71, Kevin Call, the second-year man from Colorado State, playing for the injured Carl Baldischweiler, who has that hyperextended left knee.
They need first downs.
3rd and 6. And intercepted. Coming back with it is Mike Merriweather.
David Little picked up the fumble.
Pittsburgh's ball. Merriweather with the interception. He lost it. Little picked it up. And another turnover here.
Schlichter is throwing into a loaded deck in the secondary. Right here you can see all the linebackers, and Merriweather, who almost intercepted the last one, comes up here and makes the interception. He fumbles the ball right there, but number 15 on top of your screen, David Little, picks up the fumble. See, what happens right now, he's a little confused because he's moving too much in the pocket, and he's throwing into a maze. He's not seeing the receivers.
Looked like he was trying to get it to number 80, Ray Butler. The Steelers set it up at the 38-yard line of the Colts. And the little delay goes to Abercrombie. Abercrombie out of bounds. He got inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Barry Krause, 55. Nesby Glasgow, 25 on the tackle. The Cardinals now leading 10-3. The Cardinals coming up with a field goal from Neil O'Donohue. It's in the third quarter, a 37-yarder by the Irishman. Atlanta back in front of Detroit, 21-14. Here, the Steelers in control. 2nd down and 5. 6:28 to play, third quarter. 31-3. Another delay. This is Todd Spencer in the backfield for the first time. Spencer, the free agent, getting the call there. Orlando Lowry is now at left outside linebacker, number 59 for the Colts, and he made the stop. You know, Sam, when we talk about these Colts and their problems, Leo Wisniewski is out for the year with a knee injury. Blaze Winter is on injured reserve and hopefully be ready in about 4 weeks. And talking with Rod Dowhauer, who gave us a lot of time last night to visit with us, and we really appreciated it. He said, my club's just got to put themselves on the line, and we got to have team play. But the Steelers have been too much here today to this point in the proceedings. 3rd down and 4. Uh-oh, nothing there that time, as Morse was the ball carrier, the rookie from Virginia. Quite a story with this kid Morse. Very smart kid, was going to go to work for Dow Chemical, and all of a sudden made the club here, leading the team in rushing in preseason, 95 yards, a 6.8 average, but he came up empty there. Gary Anderson will come on to try the field goal.
51-yarder.
Anderson kicked a 31-yarder in the second period with 4:34 left.
This is a good experience right now for Anderson to kick a long field goal like this.
Well, he's got a strong leg. Plenty of oomph, and it is no good. Hit the goalpost on the right side.
Sometimes it hits the goalpost and goes in, and sometimes it hits the goalpost and go out. But he hit a good ball, and he has nothing to be concerned about.
Oh, he got plenty of leg on it. We'll look at it again. It was far enough, no question about that.
He had it all the way. It's a game of inches. Hits the goalpost and gets knocked out. But let's hope sometime down the line, when the game is on the line, it'll go the other way for Gary Anderson.
Anderson, the highest percentage of any active place kicker, 61 out of 75, and 81% coming into today. And I think in his own division, he may not have ever missed a field goal in his own division. If he has, he just missed only one. I remember the fine PR man of the Steelers, Joe Gordon, telling us about that last night. Schlichter, a lot of time, and it is incomplete. The pass was intended for Bernard Henry, the free agent from Arizona State, number 88. Pretty good job by the cornerback there, 49, Dwayne Woodruff.
Woodruff is their best coverage man. Now Schlichter throws his ball well. He's looking off to his left. Now he pumps. Now he's going to the post, and you got Bernard Henry, number 88. He's got pressure on him. He's coming right in the middle. Now Woodruff has to run with him. Now go up, play the ball, and almost make the interception. Very good coverage by Woodruff, and not a bad throw by Schlichter with pressure.
Here's another view of it.
He goes up and plays the ball well, like a good corner man has to do.
Schlichter is 8 out of 18. Throws this time incomplete, but a penalty marker is down. He was trying to get it over to Randy McMillan. And you see Red Cashin, our referee, talking with his line judge. Holding indicated against the Colts. The line judge is Dan Wilford today. Some more scores for you. Look at Houston bouncing back against Miami.
Number 75 by the offense. Still 2nd down.
Cincinnati comes back to take a 24-21 lead over Seattle. This holding call going against the Colts. And Atlanta and Detroit are tied up at 21 as Hipple has passed to Eric Chadwick for a 9-yard touchdown. Schlichter now is 8 out of 19, 77 yards, and the interception, and he's facing 2nd down and 20 with his club. 4:46 to go in the 3rd quarter. 31-3 Steelers. Schlichter throws a nice one out of the backfield, and on the move with it is McMillan up across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Washington made the tackle. Here's Bob Costas with an update.
All right, Jay, after trailing at one point against the Seahawks 21-7, the Bengals now have the lead. Larry Kinnebrew, the big fullback, 9-yard scoring run. They have come from 14 down to overtake the Seahawks. They're now early in the 4th, 24-21.
And Bob, our very best to you, and from yours truly and Sam Rutigliano to you and all the gang at NFL 85. We hope you have a great season. 3rd down and 13. In motion, Henry, number 88. Schlichter, the straight drop, throws over the middle, and it is complete. Short of the 1st down, tight end Pat Beach. It seems to me they should have been going to him more today. Big number 81, Donnie Shell, number 31, made the tackle.
And here comes the punting team. At least Schlichter stayed in the pocket, threw the ball upfield, and got a reception. I think that's what he's going to have to do right now. He's going to be a fine quarterback. He just has to get some help, and he's going through his first game. And, Jay, it's a long, long season.
Eric Woods will drop back to receive this punt that'll come off the toe of Ron Stark. 3:18 remaining to be played in the third quarter. And Stark gets a high spiral away. Woods all the way back at the 5. Maybe should have let it go. He's in trouble and going to go down at the 6-yard line. Oh, now the whistle had blown. He was going to do a little backward lateral. 53-yard punt. Should he have fielded that ball inside the 10?
No. Once the ball goes inside the 7 or 8 yard line, they should allow it to bounce in the end zone and come out in the 20. I'm sure that's covered by the special team coach, Chuck Noll. And Chuck Noll will have something to say to him about that lateral.
Coming up next, many of you will see Marcus Allen. The Raiders battle the Jets. There's other regional action. Check your local listings for the game coming up after this one is concluded here at Three Rivers Stadium. 2:57 remaining to be played in the third quarter. The only score has been a 6-yard pass, Malone to Stallworth. It came at 7:36 of this period to make it 31-3. Malone now will start his club from the 7-yard line. Abercrombie in motion, give to Pollard. Pollard hurdles over the 10-yard line. At the 11, he is hit by Cliff Odom, number 93, who undercut him. Fourth quarter of play, Miami 16, Houston 12. That game down in the Astrodome. The Giants are still shutting out Philadelphia. They're now in the fourth quarter. Rod Dowhauer mentioned he developed Brian Sipe, also Dennis Shaw and a couple of others when he was with Don Coryell. Abercrombie 44 yards on 10 carries. Pollard 73 yards on 14. Banging with it is Pollard to about the 15-yard line. Just got over the 15. The stop made by Odom, 93, and Krause, 55. His defense, as you mentioned, has been on the field a long time today for the Colts, Sam. New England leads Green Bay 19-6 in the fourth quarter. Ball now at the 15-yard line, and the Colts facing third down and a long 2. Clock running with 1:40 left to play in the third period. Malone, and a great catch by Ehrenberg, but I don't know. Does he have the first down?
Yes, he does.
He did an excellent job of staying on his feet for an extra step.
That was an outstanding catch. As a matter of fact, I think he made it with one hand. He was going to Ehrenberg all the way, one-on-one. Here's your role play, just like the touchdown. He's going to him all the way. He's isolated on linebacker. Look how he stretches out, and a one-handed catch, keeps his feet, falls forward, and gets the first down. He's probably one of the better role players in the National Football League.
Well, he's such a smart youngster. He really is. Ehrenberg, number 24, comes out. Abercrombie, 34, and Pollard, 30, are back in there. 21 first downs now for the Steelers as Abercrombie gets the call. He got just barely back to the line of scrimmage before Byron Smith, number 91, wrapped him up. Steelers with 21 first downs, the Colts with only 5. And Kansas City is romping in the Superdome today. Bum Phillips having a real bummer, 33-3 in the third quarter. Kinney's had a very big day. So is Nick Lowry, kicking some long field goals. 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Second down and 9. Abercrombie in motion to the near sideline. Malone looks to Abercrombie, hits him at the 25. He's at the 30, out to the 34. Tackle by Johnny Cooks. Cooks, number 98. The end of the third quarter here at Three Rivers, and we'll be back right after these messages from your local station. Jay Randolph, a sold-out Three Rivers Stadium, 103rd consecutive sellout, and not too many no-shows. 57,279 through the turnstiles today. 59,000 seats sold. Malone, 17 of 26, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. 1st and 10 at the 34. Here comes the pitch back to Abercrombie. He's at the 40, out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The Steelers romping here, 31-3. For many of you now, we're going to send you to Marv, Albert, and Bob Greasy, Houston, and Miami. With Sam Rutigliano, Jay Randolph here. The word is that the temperature down on the field is now 115 degrees. Pollard and Abercrombie don't seem to mind. The heat may be on, but they're flying right along down there.
The Colt defense, as I've said over and over again, is on the field too long. They're wearing them down.
In that Houston-Miami game, Houston now has the lead 19-16 in the 4th quarter. Frank Pollard gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line. There's that score we told you about. Barry Krause, 55 on the tackle. Miami had a tumultuous preseason. The problems, of course, with the youngster from right here in Pennsylvania, Marino. A lot of people unsigned. Don Shula told me 3 weeks ago, he says, I've never been through anything like this in my life.
I told him, I think you have more problems than Ronald Reagan.
You're probably right. 2nd down and 9 at the 47-yard line. Malone, quick drop, quick hitter out here to Stallworth. Stallworth at the 45, down to the 43. Eugene Daniel, 38, credited with the stop. Number 91, Byron Smith, there doing a little shoving for the Colts.
Frustration. Stallworth, there's number 9, there's Stallworth, 82. Just a little hook pass, catches the ball, and he's done this his entire career. 38, Daniels is holding on for dear life.
There came Byron Smith at the end. Of course, he was with the Oakland Invaders. The Steelers, interestingly enough, do not have a player who has played in the United States Football League. The Colts have a few. 1st and 10 from the 43 for the Steelers. They lead it 31-3. A little pass in the right flat to Pollard at the 40, 35, at the 30, down to the 26-yard line. 1st down. Pollard rambling over the right side. Preston Davis, 27, made the tackle.
There's a multi-purpose back, number 30. They're trying to throw the ball upfield to number 87, and he clears the way, and Malone drops back, throws a nice little swing pass to 30. Everybody's upfield. He catches it nicely. Now turns it upfield, looking for the blocks. All he needs is one. Now he breaks the tackle right there. There's Thompson, number 87, trying to help him. And what they're doing right now is they're spraying the ball all over the Colt defense.
1st and 10 at the 26. Stallworth is in the slot right. Handoff goes into the backfield to Abercrombie, and he's hit down immediately. It was Orlando Lowry, number 59, on the play. Giants 21-0 over Philadelphia. Joe Morris has just scored from 8 yards out. They'll be dancing in the streets in old Manhattan tonight, huh?
Giants went undefeated in the preseason. It's going to be a very interesting division.
Steelers were 1-3 in the preseason, and Noel didn't like the way they played.
So much for the preseason.
Right. 2nd down and 13 at the 29-yard line. A little delay. This is Morse, the youngster from Virginia, driving down to the 20-yard line. Morse hit on the play by Cliff Odom.
They were in the Colts were in a blitz situation, and he steps aside on a draw play. He's running right, and there 55 comes into your screen. He gets hit. Now Morrison shows good vision. He picks the hole nicely. Morse, number 47.
Morse, quite a story, as we told you. A very smart young man. Dow Chemical was waiting, but the Steelers made the decision that he could stay and play. 3rd and 4. A little swing out to Pollard. Pollard, oh, what a move he made. Pollard dancing his way for the 1st down at the 15-yard line.
Same play, the big play that he had before. Did a nice job of slipping 55. Pollard's catching a short swing pass. Nice loop to the outside. Now watch him move on 55 cross. Back to the inside. That's what the good backs do. They make people miss.
Pollard comes out of the lineup. It's Morse and Abercrombie in there right now. Mark Malone kneels, calls out the play, and here they come with a first down at the 14-yard line. Steelers dominating it here on a sweltering Sunday afternoon in the Steel City.
Stallworth's got a one-on-one.
The throw is intercepted. There's a penalty marker down. Coming back with it is Tate Randall, the 4-year man out of Texas Tech.
Pass interference against the Colts. Nothing's going right for him today.
Penalty will go against the Colts, nullify the interception.
Interference. Number 38 on the defense. First down and goal.
The call goes against Eugene Daniel, the right cornerback out of LSU. Had 6 interceptions in his rookie year. Rod Dowhauer looking out. Here it is.
He's going to Stallworth all the way, right in the middle. Let's take a look at it right here. You can't see it very closely, but it looks like a questionable call to me. I don't think that he was that close to Stallworth. And a difficult call, obviously, at this point in the game.
First and goal to go. The ball just inside the 2-yard line. Pollard and Abercrombie are in the backfield now. The handoff goes to Pollard. He is short of the goal line. Ball just has to cross that plane, but he didn't get it in there. 10 minutes to play in the game. Steelers leading 31-3 and threatening to get more. Kraus 55 and Odom 93, the inside linebackers with the initial hit. Cardinals in the 4th quarter.
Look for them maybe to run the same play, Jay.
Ball at about the half-yard line. Pollard to the right of Malone, and Malone sneaks it in. Mark Malone calls his own number and romps in from a half a yard out. He's had himself some afternoon. The first rushing touchdown of the afternoon for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they get it from their quarterback. 9:30 to play in the game. 37-3, and the point after coming up. Well, a big day for these Steelers. Anderson gets the point after. 9:30 remaining. The Steelers in complete control. Back with more in a moment. Twenty completions today, a career high for Malone. Here's the kickoff. And Robbie Martin doesn't want any part of bringing it out. Here are the total yards at this point in the proceedings, Coach Sam. 408 for Pittsburgh, 126 for the Colts.
And it goes back to Malone is having an outstanding day because of all the parts. He's running the ball. He's throwing the ball to a lot of different receivers. His receivers are making the big plays. And on the other side of the coin, and there's his numbers right there.
That 271 is also a career high for him yardage-wise. Been a big day for Malone. You had a feeling when you visited with him yesterday. I know you talked with him for over 40 minutes. He was so kind to give you the time.
That's exactly right.
You had a feeling he was going to have this kind of day. And Schlichter goes down back at the 9-yard line. Penalty flag is down. Brian Hinkle, 53, made the stop. That's the 3rd sack. Let's see if it stands. Holding against Pittsburgh.
Holding. Number 57 on the defense. First down.
Mike Merriweather, the 4-year man from Pacific, Pro Bowler last year. Remember, he had 15 quarterback sacks in '84. There he is. He was called for the infraction. Minnesota has tied up San Francisco late in the 3rd quarter. Allen Rice scoring from 2 yards out. There's 7 apiece in that one. Schlichter looks like he's audibling here. And he goes to the far sideline, complete. Ray Butler makes the catch. Dave Edwards, 42, the strong safety in there now, replacing Donnie Shell on the tackle. There's seesawing back and forth, Seattle and Cincinnati, and the Seahawks lead by 4. Kurt Warner has just scored from 11 yards out. It's his first touchdown run of the day. Clock running with 8.5 minutes to play here at Three Rivers Stadium. Next week, Chuck Noll's club will be at Cleveland a week from tomorrow night. The Browns playing the Cardinals on the lakefront today in Cleveland. The give to McMillan. McMillan bumped out of bounds on the far side by Sam Washington. Washington, number 41, now at the right corner slot. The Colts next week are at Miami, and the Dolphins in that dogfight at Houston today.
I think the Colts situation would even have been better had they had Curtis Dickey. I think it really has hurt this team because Dickey adds a tremendous dimension. Dickey and McMillan gained 2,400 yards and caught over 100 passes in one season with the Colts. And I think it really hurt Dowhauer's preparation.
And Dowhauer's missing James Harbour, who they liked very much, who's an IR. Ricky Nichols on IR. Mills is out with a shoulder, the tackle. Kirchner, the guard, is out with a toe problem. In fact, it's that Lambert toe, that turf toe, and it's a very serious problem. Handoff going to McMillan. McMillan up the sideline and out of bounds as he got to the 41-yard line. Bob Coors made the tackle. Coors, number 90, in there now at the left inside linebacker slot for the Steelers, as in this heat and with the lead 38-3. We've got Chuck Noll giving some of his second liners an opportunity to play.
At this point in the game for the Colts, it's obvious they're going to have a difficult time winning it. I think it's important for them to finish and finish strong. This is going to be a good football team. They came up against a very fine team in their very first season with a rookie quarterback in his first start.
And a rookie coach. And I want to ask you, what effect this might have on Dowhauer. I'm talking with him last night. I think he's got things all together and in perspective. Here's Schlichter. Schlichter throwing and into trouble. And here comes Dwayne Woodruff. Woodruff back downfield, knocked out of bounds. Oh, he threw into double coverage, Sam.
Indecision, Jay. He was indecisive. And if there's Schlichter going off, and of course they're celebrating on the sideline, and Woodruff is a veteran player who goes to law school 5 nights a week. Watch Schlichter right now. Watch his eyes. He's indecisive, and he just throws the ball, and I'm sure if he had a chance to refocus, he wouldn't have done that. And that happens to young quarterbacks, and this defense now has tremendous pressure on the Colts.
Trying to get the ball to Robbie Martin, number 31, 27-yard return. You mentioned Woodruff. Yeah, he goes to the Duquesne University Law School here 5 nights a week. Went to school at Louisville. The Mountaineers of West Virginia really put it on Howie Schnellenberger's Louisville club yesterday down in Morgantown. Nice win for Penn State. Our congratulations to Don Nyland and also to Joe Paterno for fine victories yesterday. 1st and 10 at the 22. The give to Todd Spencer. And Spencer is hit by Cliff Odom, number 93. Let's take a look at the scores we have for you, as Houston now has that 19-16 advantage over Miami in the 4th. Seattle leads by 4 in the 4th quarter over Cincinnati. Giants 21-0. 7-7 Frisco and Minnesota. Here it is 38-3 Steelers. 6.5 to play. 2nd and 4. Malone for a touchdown. Lewis slips again. Well, for whom the bell tolls, and it tolls today for Malone and Lips and Stallworth. Great performance by the Steeler offensive line. They had a lot of second liners in there then. Turk and Snell and Wingle and Howe.
He didn't need much time to throw this. The same play, he threw the Lips now, the 3rd time, and to Stallworth for a touchdown. In this game, Jay, you have to have great athletes or mismatches. There you saw Lips, a great athlete, with a mismatch one-on-one.
A big day for the Steelers. Malone has 5 touchdown passes, which ties Bradshaw's team record here, and is, of course, a personal record for Malone. And Lips with 9, 53 yards, 3 TDs, and the 45 points on the board is the most ever by a Steeler team in an opening game.
Would you believe that I had an opportunity to draft Louis Lips? No wonder I'm in this booth.
We're glad to have you. That's the voice of Sam Rutigliano, who is here in Pittsburgh today, starting a new career as an analyst for NBC Sports. The Cardinals got an interception from Lionel Washington. He ran it back 48 yards, touchdown. Cardinals lead Cleveland 17-3. Mick Luckhurst field goal, 28-24 now, Detroit over Atlanta, as we look at Malone's statistics. And Chicago has a 31-28 lead over Tampa Bay. They're late in the third quarter as Chicago's come back from a big deficit there. They were down 21-7. The Colts handoff going to Middleton. Middleton carried that ball up to about the 25-yard line. There's Coach Sam. They've let us take our coats off, thank goodness. And a real joy to be working with you today, Sam, in what has turned out to be a very one-sided contest. The Steelers have been superb.
I like this young Colt team. I think they're going to come back. They've got a lot of character. You have a young quarterback, and there were a lot of people, as we said earlier, Jay, that were not able to make this trip.
Yep, and they've had their hands full. That pass going to Wansley for the first down. Wansley, number 34. That St. Louis game, as we told you now, 17-3 after the interception. San Francisco will tell you what they're doing in a minute, but look what Kansas City's doing, 33-3. The Detroit score, up by 4 in the fourth quarter. Bears. And in that San Francisco-Minnesota game, it's now San Francisco 14-7. Montana to Roger Craig, 14 yards. First and 10, 31-yard line for Schlichter and the Colts. Schlichter throws too tall, intending on the far sideline for Middleton. He was hit as he just got it away. Sam Washington, 41, had the coverage. Clock stopped with 5.5 to play. New England 19-6 over Green Bay, and Schlichter limping. Miami's come back in that Donnybrook down in Houston as Don Strock has passed to Mark Duper, 67 yards. Strock doing the job. Schlichter, as I told you, limping, and he looks to be in some pain.
I think we're going to see a replacement here. It looks like he hurt his left knee or left lower leg.
Pagel throwing a couple on the sidelines. You see the fans over there trying to cool them off. The team that hasn't cooled off is the Steelers. They lead at 4. They're being attended to there on the sidelines. Pagel has come in to take over for Schlichter. Mike Pagel, number 18. Middleton gets the football and is hit by David Little, number 50. Pagel and Schlichter have been in the battle for the number 1 quarterback spot. Pagel out of Arizona State, started 9 games in '84. He was 13 out of 17 in the second half in the win over Pittsburgh last October in the Hoosier Dome, 17-16. Mike Pagel at quarterback now as we have 5 minutes to play in this game, and the Steelers 45-3. Third down and about 11. Pagel over the middle's got a man. It is complete to Middleton. Middleton's at the 40-yard line, very close to the first down. David Little again made the play, number 50, for the Steelers. Well, we haven't gotten a report on Schlichter. It looked like it might have been an ankle, the way he limped off. Or, of course, on a hot day like this, we already had one instance of a cramp to Stallworth. It could have been that his leg was tightening on him.
Let's hope it's a cramp and not, it doesn't look like anything serious, because he's moving his lower leg freely.
Hunter Smith and Dave Hammer, the trainers for Indianapolis, and the great Ralph Berlin in his 18th year as the trainer of the Steelers. This pass is incomplete. They say he trapped it. Pass intended for Robbie Martin, number 31. A couple of more scores to bring you up to date on. A very busy scoreboard on this opening Sunday. In the fourth quarter, Kansas City in control. Minnesota comes back to tie up the world champion 49ers in the fourth quarter. It was Tommy Kramer to Jones for 44 yards. James Craig has just scored on a 65-yard run. New England 26-6, leading Green Bay in the fourth. Second down and 10 from the 41. This pass to Pagel, from Pagel I should say, is underthrown as he was trying to get it to Tim Sherwin. Dave Edwards had the coverage. Sam was talking about Rod Dowhauer and how kind he was to visit with us last night, and he seems to be such an altogether guy, and he's very high on Indianapolis, of course, as a NFL city. What kind of a feeling will he have tonight and through this next week? Tough way for a rookie coach to start.
Right now he's got a hit right in the middle of the stomach, and I know the feeling. But there's nothing darker than 12 midnight. He's got a good young team, and they believe in him, and that's all that really matters.
Third and 10 at the 41. Pagel over the middle, incomplete. Charlie Hustle, the man from Cincinnati, Pete Rose, has tied Ty Cobb's hit record this afternoon. And our congratulations to a really wonderful performer. I can't think of anybody who loves baseball more than Pete Rose and has worked harder to get to that milestone. He's tied Cobb's record, 4,191, I believe.
Wouldn't it be outstanding to coach 11 people like that in football?
Oh, you'd love it, wouldn't you? Punting time for the Colts. Start with a boomer. They're going to let it go, and it bounces the wrong way.
Get away from it.
And it is going to be downed. Well, let's see. I was about to say it's going to be down at the 1-yard line, but it'll come out to the 20. It's a touchback. We're going to see Woodley in the game, I believe, for the Steelers. David Woodley out of LSU came here in the trade from Miami, but Malone, of course, got the call today to start, and Malone responded magnificently. One of the Steelers down.
Rick Woods.
That's Rick Woods, who's done the job receiving punts and kickoffs today. A couple of other scores for you as Richard Todd hit Kobe Bryner. It's 33-10 as we showed you Kansas City leading New Orleans. The stats on Woodley in '84. Strained left knee, the report on Art Schlichter. Coming off, Rick Woods. Look at the Colts sideline. Some disappointed young people there. It's been a long afternoon for Indianapolis.
They'll come back. This is a long season.
Detroit now leads Atlanta by 1 in the fourth quarter. They've been going back and forth in that one. And Chicago now 38-28 over Tampa Bay. Big comeback for the Bears. 3:41 to play. Woodley now at quarterback. The handoff goes to Todd Spencer. Spencer's out to the 25-yard line. They'll eat up some clock here, Sam. It's a hot, hot day, and the Steelers have been a hot, hot team.
Well, I think the Colts are going to agree with the Steelers. The Steelers right now are going to run the football and make sure the clock runs down and just get this game over with. But you're right, the Steelers have been hot today. Malone has really developed that. All the things I talked to him about yesterday, he really has taken a major step towards that confidence builder.
One of the fine writers in the area, Bob Sizek, in his column today here in Pittsburgh, said if things fell into place for this Steeler club, they could be very, very good. And certainly, I've been impressed with about every facet of their game today. Handoff going again there to Spencer.
The Steelers are a team that was second in the AFC in run defense. It looks like they put more pressure on the quarterback today, which is what they wanted to do. But there's Pat Beach on the sideline, and Schlichter, he seems to be okay. We understand now that he had a slight sprain to the left knee. Let's hope he's okay. There he is, iced down on the sideline.
3rd down and 2. 29-yard line. Handoff going to number 47, Morse, the youngster out of Virginia, and he appears to have the first down. And we're going to get the 2-minute warning here in just a moment. Hunley, 56, on the tackle, along with Bickett, number 50. Well, now we have the 2-minute warning. Now let's take another look at a fantastic finish. Second half of our doubleheader. Most of you see the Raiders battling the Jets. Regional action. Check your local listings. The other games there, Denver and the Rams, and San Diego versus Buffalo. Well, Richard Todd has thrown another touchdown pass, this one to Wayne Wilson, 33-17, with 13 minutes left in the 4th quarter in that Kansas City-New Orleans game. Kansas City putting a lot of points on the board, but for that matter, so have these Steelers. The most points they have ever scored in an opening game. First down for the Steelers. 2 minutes to play. Handoff going to Spencer. Spencer up to the 40-yard line, picked up about 9. Tate Randall on the tackle. NFL 85, Bob Costas.
Here at Wrigley Field.
Jay, this is Pete Rose at Wrigley Field this afternoon. A line drive single to right. He's 2 for 3 already, and he has drawn even with Ty Cobb. He is likely to have as many as 2 at-bats, possibly more remaining. A chance to move ahead of him today at Wrigley. Back to Jay.
Thank you, Bob. And I know you're a baseball history buff. I'd like to be there in Wrigley Field today if he doesn't.
Well, it'd be an exciting place to be. I'm excited just being up here now, listening to it.
2nd down and 1. Penalty marker goes down. St. Louis 17-10, 4th quarter. Let's listen in now to
Illegal motion, number 36 on the outside, 2nd down.
legal motion charged against Todd Spencer.
2nd down and 6.
Well, while I have a moment, I want to say a special hello to the chairman of the board, the chief, Mr. Arth Rooney. Mr. Rooney and I had a great visit yesterday. His doctors thought it was too hot for him to be here today, Sam, but he's truly one of the great sportsmen in the history of this game.
All the years that I was at Cleveland, I never met a finer gentleman.
No,
It was
sir.
always a pleasure to come to see Mr. Rooney. Not play Pittsburgh, but come to see Mr.
All
Rooney.
right. Pass is incomplete on the far sideline as they were trying to get it out to Lips. Pass thrown a little too high. 1 minute to play. 3rd down coming up. The coverage over there, Preston Davis. And been kind of a thrill to have my dad here today. Visiting in Pittsburgh over the weekend and seeing him. San Francisco 21-14 now over Minnesota as Montana has passed to Craig again. That's 2 for Craig today. This one 19 yards. They have 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and it has not been an easy afternoon for the 49ers.
No, it looks there's a lot of people that are having trouble this afternoon. Miami and Houston.
3rd down and 6. David Woodley taking over on this warm afternoon for Malone, who had a big day, and Woodley goes down at the 30-yard line.
It looked to me like he had an open receiver, and he recocked. And I don't know why he went back to the inside or the other side of the field.
Harry Newsom will come on. I think this is just the 2nd punt of the game for the young rookie. 44.1 in the preseason. He led the Atlantic Coast Conference the last 3 years. He won the job from Craig Colquitt.
Harry Newsom saying right now it's not too bad to play in the NFL. It's pretty easy.
Well, one game does not a career make, my
Amen,
man.
amen.
Robbie Martin is downfield to receive this punt. A boomer. Martin all the way back to the 18-yard line. He's at the 25. Comes up the near sideline, out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Knocked out of bounds on the play by Dave Edwards, number 42. First final of the day. Seattle's in the win column. Chuck Knox, Kurt Warner and company. Dave Craig threw a couple of touchdown passes. 28-24, Seattle over Cincinnati. 14 seconds remaining here. Sam, it's been a joy to be here with you, and we look forward, of course, to your work throughout this season for NBC Sports, analyzing the action of the National Football League.
My pleasure, and I couldn't think of a better technician to break me in than Jay Randolph. I thank you very much.
Oh, it's been fun. George Wansley carrying the ball, and this is going to be it. The misery comes to a close for the Indianapolis Colts. This big crowd saw these Steelers dominate. Malone, Lips, Stallworth and company, everybody all around had a big day, and the final 45-3.
Well, Jay, at the outset, we said that Malone and Schlichter are two fine quarterbacks, but they both had to have that supporting cast, and it looks like the John and Louis show did it today for Mark Malone. And Mark Malone took a major step.